Hello, welcome to Goblins and Aliens. Let's go grim, let's go dark, let's go pumpkins. Happy Halloween. When you first start out as a beginner, your main source of product is from Games Workshop. So the temptation is to buy one of these Games Workshop dry brushes, the Citadel ones. And they are pretty decent for, just downward stroke dry brushes. But a cheaper alternative is these cheap makeup brushes you can get at any Superdrugs or Boots or B&M's. The bigger round head works perfect for more than just dry brush, but even stippling. It's not a financial commitment, but when you are ready and you want to spend a bit of cash, you can pick up purpose-made dry brushes. I've got these Army Painter ones. They weren't terribly expensive, but they do the trick very well. You will abuse these brushes, so try not to go over the top and buy mega expensive ones when you're just learning. It's worth picking them up though. Start off, I'm just going to hit this model with some brown. Yes, I have undercoated it brown, and I've also put some magenta on there. But I just want to tie the colours in together. So I'll start off by just jotting a bit of water on the back of my hand, sponging her up with the brush, and drying her off until the brush feels damp and cold. You don't want to be putting too much moisture in there, but you don't want the paint to be too dry. It's called dry brush, yes, but you want a bit of moisture there to allow the paint to flow. And I'm just going to attack this in a stippling fashion, all down the part that I want to be pumpkin orange. So I'll start off with a brown, and this will help tie the colour in a bit better. Like I said, you will be abusing these brushes. I'm going to hit all the armour sections here that are going to be bright orange at the end, ready for the grim dark treatment. And since I'm going to do this in an assembly line, as soon as I've coated this fella, I'm going to move on to the next one. Giving each coat a chance to dry as you're doing it in an assembly helps speed up the process. Now, the next jump in highlight, which is a more chocolatey brown from the dark brown, I'm just going to focus mostly on the highlighted areas. Now, you may notice I am using the cheapo makeup brush. I will jump to other brushes as I go through this, just to show you that you can use them all. You don't have to stick with the big fancy ones that you've burn all your pocket money on, eh? Now onto the grimdark element of this project. I'll start off by giving the models a coat of varnish. I have this satin matte finish. I think gloss would work better, but that's all I have. Then I'm going to mix together burnt umber and ivory black into a wash, and that's going to then completely coat the entire models. I'm going to use these cheap eyeshadow applicators to gently remove the oil from the highlighted areas. Bizarrely, this has become a paint project of abusing brushes. Using oils is not kind on your brush. So I'm going to mix in the black and the brown and then add some white spirit. Now I've just used hardware store style spirit, which is quite aggressive, probably not the best to use for this project, but I have coated the models with varnish to try and protect them a bit. So I'm going to add the white spirit into one side, and I'm going to bring the colours to the white spirit. I don't want to swamp it completely. Bring it down to this muddy wash. Now I've just got this little pot that I've filled with a tin foil so I can bin it afterwards. And this is nerve-wracking. Yeah, all that work that you've done is now getting covered up with this gunk. So just continue with your assembly line, moving from one model to the other, coating them all with this mixture. If you've got a particularly high odored white spirit, you might want to crack a window open or wear a mask. I've got plenty of breathing space around me here, so I'm fairly okay. But then wear a mask, you probably wouldn't hear me. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Probably a lot of you would say that is a good thing. So on to the removing stage. Now I've given it 15 minutes for this to dry a bit. You'll find that oil paint takes a hell of a lot longer to dry than acrylic paint. So I'm just going to wipe off the high parts to reveal some staining and leave a lot of the dark in the recess. And if you really want to know about grim dark painting, you should check out my buddy's channel, TeddyKGB Miniatures. I'll put a link up in the description in the corner. He really has mastered this grim dark look, and I highly recommend you check that channel out. It's at this point of the project that you could call it a day. These models are grimdark and they're very much tabletop standard, but to elevate that I would like to add some edge highlights, just to give it that boost. Using a nice sharp brush, just gonna gently use the edge to catch some of these raised bits here. Yes, it is grimdark, but we do want it to have a bit of reflection and a bit of life in the model. Just be very careful, take deep breaths. You should do fine. Do the same with the green on the guns. Just give that a boost in colour. Just hitting the highlights. Don't want to go all over. I'm trying my best to be as neat as possible with this. Just remember that the oily finish can be quite water resistant. So if you've got a very thin mixture, it will pool about. And for the ultimate edge highlight and hack, I'm just going to dry brush lightly over the top and trying to catch any of the metallic work. You can even stipple a wee bit to add a bit of that colour back in there. I say colour, I mean vibrancy. That's pretty much these models done. And that's another paint job done. I thoroughly enjoyed painting these Tau stealth suits in a grim dark pumpkin theme. If I was to do this again, I would push the brightness of the original base colour up 2 or 3 notches, so when I do put the oil on, it will keep that vibrancy. As a speed painting technique, this has turned out really well. Again, I'm not big on doing speed painting, but I seem to be leaning towards it, so maybe in my next video I'll do a speed paint kill team. But for now, thank you for watching, see you in the next video, and happy Halloween.